My lovely angels, humans of the universe, hello. I'm here with my special guest, Teddy. He's asleep, purring on my lap. And if you haven't come to my channel before, my name's Ashton Colby. I've started documenting my transition here on YouTube in 2013. I've started transitioning from female to male, or whatever the heck that means, for it's been 6.5 years now. And throughout my transition, I've realized that I've really come to realize this was an entire, like, part of my catalyst for my spiritual awakening journey. And I know that a lot of you are now recognizing that the world is waking up to a lot of incredible, just profound things that are happening in the world. And sometimes it sounds like it's scary. And sometimes things have to get worse before they get better. And I promise you that things are getting better. They really are. And if you notice just the little things that people are saying, they're saying things like, we need to be more aware of how we speak to each other. We need to be more aware of the language that we use. So my catalyst really was this my catalyst for my spiritual transition was really my gender transition. And that's because a lot of the things that you go through when you begin this kind of awakening journey with spirituality and things like that, and becoming more woke, or whatever people want to call it, you go through a period of time, and it's very normal, when you are pushed up against everything that you thought that you knew in this world. And for me, okay, coming out as transgender, it's like, yeah, of course, I'm gonna have to shed everything that I used to know about who I was. And a lot of the times, whether you're transgender or not, or anything like that, you come to a point where you realize how things are going right now aren't working. You're maybe, a lawyer or a school teacher or a stay-at-home parent or anything, and you just realize, this just isn't working. How things are going just isn't for me. And you kind of start to question, well, then what's bigger for myself? What is more important than how my life is right now? And the answer to that is happiness and long-term fulfillment and long-term peace and sustainable joy and happiness. And a lot of the activism that I see right now in the world is really centered on anger, figuring out the things that we're most angry about. There's a lot of focus in activism, and I used to be an activist. I was super into activism in the way that I would go and protest in the streets and stuff like that, and I would have my fists in the air, and I thought liberation, as an activist, I thought liberation looked like me being angry with my fist in the air. And I realized through my own journey through all of this that liberation is joy, and liberation is an eternal state of peace and joy and fulfillment. And a lot of the politicians and a lot of the people that are out there that are leaders right now, they want us to be afraid, and they want us to focus on the things that are negative in the world. And they want us to carry these fear-based limiting beliefs and narratives around with us, especially as transgender people. Oh my gosh, as transgender people. And you know what? The answer to all of this is, they really want us to feel like we're less than human. They want us to not claim our power. The reality is, transgender people are here. Whether you identify as a binary trans person or not, we are here to break this polar system, break this binary system, break this duality, this illusion of duality. And they like to pathologize things in society that are seen as anything that doesn't fit normal standards. And so they like to diagnose and tell us that we're mentally ill, or shame us, or make us feel crazy, or make us... I mean, there's a reason that a lot of transgender people, myself included, have wanted to, have attempted suicide. It's because They really want the people that are going to be the change makers, the people that are going to point and poke at the illusion of this duality, this illusion of that the world is black and white, right or wrong, this or that. And we really poke at that in a very visceral way, and it upsets a lot of people. And so I really, I'm going to be giving a TEDx talk in about a month or so. So if you have any comments or things that you would like me to maybe try to weave in there with that, I would love to add that in because my TEDx talk is really going to be talking about this idea that as transgender people, okay, to gain access to medically transitioning, we have to be diagnosed with gender dysphoria. Dysphoria, it's the words you say matter. Words are vibration, words are sound, words matter. They're incredibly powerful. The things you say about yourself, the narratives that you tell about yourself, the stories you say, the words that you say between your ears and your brain and your mind, the stories are so important, and they want us to claim this narrative of gender dysphoria or gender identity disorder as it was. And we're divine. We're so, like, everyone is divine, but transgender people are, like, in their inherent nature, purposely here to embody a profound expression beyond the expectations of masculinity and femininity as they are such just in the body. There's so much more. It's so much deeper. It's such a profound energy. There's a divine masculinity and a divine femininity, and transgender people are just, I mean, there's a, like, as a yoga teacher, there's a lineage of yoga called, is it Raja Yoga? If someone knows, they can comment. But it's really about human royalty, like human majesty, like divine inherent majesty, as your humanness is so royal. And when you claim sovereignty within yourself and in your body, that's where your true power is. And transgender people, in the way that we change our bodies or change our roles in society based on what other people would interpret our bodies as, we are taking back our divine sovereignty. We are taking back our sovereignty and stepping into our really ability to claim, like, our royalty of our own individual human vessel, that's like our own. And we do that in such a way that is so powerful that I'm sick of hearing this diagnosis as a trans person or a it's so much bigger than that. It is so divine and so powerful, and it upsets so many people. So anyway, I get a lot of questions on this channel like, can you be spiritual and can you be transgender, or, you know, where's the line there? And the reality is that you can be both. You can be both. You can be transgender, you can be spiritual, you can be people don't want to hear that. Even transgender people don't want to hear that. There's a lot of transgender people that don't believe in anything higher, that are completely alienated, and that consider themselves atheists or non-believers of anything higher than just what is here. And, like, there is something bigger, and it's our choice to claim that. And I'm sick of playing small. I'm sick of trying to please every person and not really speaking the truth here. maybe on this channel, and just even in all the activism that I do, and even in the TED Talk that they want me to give, there's parameters. But like, if I really told the truth of really how I feel, transgender people are divine. We are all an expression of God or the universe or whatever you want to call it here in a human body expressing itself. And God or creation or whatever the source is that is here because you are here is of love, and it is neither male nor female, yet it is both at the same time. It is beyond time and space. It is divinely feminine, divinely masculine, and it freaks people out when you claim your power and you discover it in a way that you step out of the very visceral experience or the very bodily experience of what it means to be human. And when I talk about it, it freaks some people out, but if you're here and you're in it to win it, then you get it and it resonates with you on a deep soul, profound level. And those are the people that I'm talking about. And it may sound completely ridiculous or on drugs or whatever anyone would want to call it, even though I've been sober proudly for 2 years. In discovering this, I've stopped drinking alcohol. I've stopped smoking pot every single day. I've stopped doing anything else. And I'm healthier and happier than I've ever been in my entire life. And this type of reality exists, but you have to claim it. And then you start by changing the stories that you tell yourself. So if being transgender is just a medical condition for you, and it's just about curing gender dysphoria, then that's what you'll find. You'll get to that goal, and you will realize it was never about that in the first place. But if you change the story and you change the narrative, and you know that it's about creating sustainable happiness so that you can show up more fully, more open-hearted, and cultivate an inner sense of peace and joy and fulfillment so you can be of highest service to the world, then you will get so much more than a new body. You will get the answers to everything you've been looking for. You will fulfill your wildest dreams. You will live a life beyond your wildest dreams. And that's what I want people to understand. This is not about your body. Gender transition is about so much bigger. It's aligning your mind, your body, your soul, your spirit, your personhood, your spirithood, your divinity, all together. And you have to ask the right questions to get the right answers. Don't ask, how do I cure gender dysphoria? Ask, how do I get to the highest peak expression and sustainable happiness, peace, and joy, and love, and fulfillment for myself, and not only for myself, but so that I can be of greatest service to all those living beings around me and fulfill my highest gift and vision and dream for my life. Because 3.5 years into my transition, I realized that for all intents and purposes had the body that I wanted, but I was still unhappy. And I was gonna get a histo. And then I realized, okay, do I want another surgery or do I want to have lasting fulfillment and peace and purpose and all of that? So I went on this wild spirit journey where I meditated a lot, I smoked a lot of weed, I did LSD, I did shrooms, I did all of that, and then I got really sober and had to deal with all the things that I was pushing down. And in digging down deep to the depths of my soul and cracking open and expanding and feeling down, I realized I didn't want to be anybody else but myself. That I love myself wholly and completely more than I could ever love anyone else. And that I couldn't love anybody else more than I love myself. And so I had to figure out how to multiply that love. And I rebuilt and resculpted and reshaped my entire life from nothing. I haven't been as open that it was last year in April. I mean, I've talked about this, but I don't think some of you really understand that I was in the hospital for depression and anxiety and really having in having such a bad panic attack, getting really high on pot and having to just totally stop. I I really, really, really then no longer could smoke marijuana every day and numb all my feelings. And so I had to do a lot of digging as to, okay, now all these feelings that I've been pushing down every day are coming up. And I started to get these horrific panic attacks. And I had to learn the tools. And it sent me in the hospital three times over a period of a few months. And I was in the hospital at one point for an entire month and doing ECT and having like I don't want to get all into it because I don't know who's watching, but I went through all of that and basically had my soul ripped out of my body and put back in and had to clean it up and figure it out. And in doing so, like some of the most painful things that you're ever going to have to do are totally worth it. They're totally worth it because they're clearing out a lot of the bullshit. So trust it. Even in the darkest moments like that, I was journaling in my journal. I was like, I'm going to be a yoga teacher. I'm going to be a yoga teacher and I'm going to do this. And guess what? I'm a yoga teacher now. And I'm doing it. I'm living the life that I had visioned for myself, but I had to clear a lot of stuff out. And it was pretty painful. But it's totally worth it. And changing the story that you tell about yourself takes time. It's not an overnight thing, so don't be patient with yourself. Just the willingness, the tool that I'll give you, just the willingness to change your story, just the willingness to change your story is enough for the unfolding to begin. That's enough. That's all you need. So let's take a deep breath here. Bring your awareness to your feet or to the lowest part of your body, to your ankles or to your calves, whatever you feel comfortable with, but bringing your awareness to the soles of your feet, if you can, is really going to be the lowest place that draws. My roommate just came home, but I'm trying to host a live meditation. Bringing your awareness to your feet, the soles of your feet, is really going to be the place that, oh, kitty. Hey, Emily. That's what I love about live video, people. Well, when you bring your awareness to your feet, the lowest part of your body, and I'm doing a 200-hour, in top of my 200-hour teacher training, I'm doing 100-hour, it's trauma-sensitive yoga teacher training, so it's mindfulness space, emotional resilience, and it's really about, okay, what are the tools that we can actually give people to help get them back in their bodies in a really concrete way that goes beyond just like the practices of yoga or whatever. It's not just about the physical pose. It's about feeling present in your body. And for myself, I know that in my transition, I've had a lot of trouble with bringing awareness to anything between my neck and my shoulder blades and my collars to above my knees. So a really the thing that is going to be the most key when you're feeling a lot of sensation in this area that you maybe don't have the tools to acknowledge, that's okay. Take a deep breath and bring your awareness to the soles of your feet, or the lowest part of your body that you have, and send your energy downward and send your breath down. And you can actually breathe in a kind of imaginary breathe through the soles of your feet and bring energy up and let it go all the way back down. And that's a way of grounding yourself when you don't really have the ability to be present with your entire body. Like, let's be honest, even myself, sometimes I don't want to feel into my entire body, but I feel the lowest part. Like right now, it's like I'm sitting on my bed. What do I feel? I feel my calves are in my sweatpants, my feet are on my bed. Oh, teddy bear. I'm gonna let my cat out because he wants to get dinner because my roommate works at a pet store and manages a pet store, and he knows that she's the zookeeper of the house, and she's gonna go feed him dinner. So you you have the ability to cultivate these practices, and my goal is going to be to, I mean, I don't think that you I'm trying to keep it on the low key as I develop more and more into what I'm going to be doing, but I really have to let you know that I'm going to do some online courses. Not, and I know that it's typically where people are they're trying to sell it for like a lot of money. I'm really going to do this for free on my Gender Euphoria website. I want to have, and you can give me feedback, but I want to have a, kind of a 6-part module where, 6 modules where it's going to be focused on like your relationship with your body, your relationship with other people, your spiritual wellness, your emotional wellness, and kind of your life visioning, your kind of career, life goals, everything like that. And I want to break it down into guided meditations. I want to break it down into practices that you can do. So it can be like journaling exercises, like kind of like, okay, now sit down and journal out what your like ideal day was and things like that. And why I want to provide these kind of tools and practices, because not only have they helped me in my own life, but I see the way technology is moving, that education is going to be a lot more like online courses, all this stuff like that. But it's got to be accessible. And so I want it to be free for now, 100%. I mean, I'm working on it, so we'll figure it out. But I just remember when I was really struggling as a trans person, and how I could have used it most and is it being free. And that's just the reality of it. And I've tried to like think about like, oh, okay, how do I like make money off of it? But it's like, fuck that. Like, I there's so many trans people, that myself included, that have gone through all the physical changes, and they're like, okay, what next? What do I do after I've gotten all the physical changes? Because the focus has been on the body, and there's got to be tools that can be provided to you know go beyond that. And so I'm working on that, working on my TED Talk. I want to provide, like, I'm going to be done with this 100-hour teacher training in April, in addition to the 200-hour, but it's really focused on like the neuroscience of the ways that trauma is stored in the body. And I really want to I'll just so you know where I'm at in my head, so you can pass along any feedback that you have. You can email me or whatever. I really see doing, for the next month, my everything's gonna be really focused on like getting my TED Talk together. But beyond that, I see on this channel doing videos where I like set up maybe like my light and everything like that in here, literally move my bed or whatever, find a place in my apartment to teach yoga to y'all. I want to teach chair yoga so that if you have just recovered from top surgery and you can't really like move your arms and you're kind of T-Rex in it, like how do we do yoga that's accessible to people? And then as well, because that's what they teach. They teach a lot of chair yoga in this Ember 100-hour teacher training. And then as well, like yoga that you can do when you're just like doing it in your bed and chilling and relaxing. And just had somebody say hello on the chat, so but I didn't get to see what their name was. And I want to do sequences where I'm not only teaching you kind of the foundations of yoga with languaging that's accessible to transgender people, but also sequences that are specifically geared to getting people back in their bodies in a very concrete way, as well as for to sleep, like when you get down where you're sleeping, and or for myself, like when I was really struggling with dysphoria, especially at the beginning of my transition, getting to sleep was really a struggle. Like I would stay up till like 4 in the morning or something like that. And so this is kind of a guided meditation. I want to do a guided meditation that's going to be for sleep. I want to do a guided meditation that's for life visioning, for thinking about, okay, what is your vision for your life beyond the physical transition? Like you can hold both at the same time. If on your list, like we think about life visioning and how we picture our ideal lives, ideal bodies look like. Cool, but then beyond that, like giving yourself permission to claim, like, what do you want your ideal relationship maybe with a partner to look like? What do you want your ideal career or job, or what do you want to live and leave? Who do you want to bring into every conversation with every person that you meet? You have to set that intention for yourself. And I was so focused on just the body, what is the next physical change, and I wasn't thinking beyond that. And so we have to start looking at this as like a holistic perspective. Okay, what are the spiritual tools? All right, it's a secular, meditation is secular, yoga is secular, but these are tools that help your spirit regardless of whether you think about, whether you believe in God or not, or the universe, or whatever the heck you want to call it. I'm going to use it interchangeably, just get used to it on this channel if you haven't already. But what are those tools? And then journaling, really claiming permission to write down what the heck you want your goals to look like in your life. And I have such a clear vision of what I want it to look like. It's not an accident that I'm going to be giving a TED Talk in about a month. I've had that in my journal a few years that I finished my 200-hour teacher training program. I'm doing this 100-hour Ember training. Like I've planned all of this out. I had a vision of living in this apartment. I had a vision in this bed. All these things that I had are been things that 2.5 years ago, I was in a really crappy apartment. I was smoking pot every day to push down all of my feelings. I was not present. I was really having crappy intimate relationships because I was not showing up at my full self. I was judging other people. And I wasn't moving forward in my highest purpose. I was doing YouTube, and I was doing like activism or whatever, but I was very unfulfilled because I wasn't thinking, as I was saying at the beginning of this live video, I was saying that activism, like, I thought that when I spoke up about and pointed out and put my focus and attention and all the things that were going wrong in the world, that was going to help the world the most. In reality, what, as I was saying before, what helps the world the most and what gets us to actually create the world that we want to see is not dwelling on, as Oprah would say, what you dwell on is what you become, not dwelling on the things that are wrong with the world, but actually acknowledging them for what they are, but not giving them our power and taking back our own personal sovereignty as humans, as divine beings here in this experience to learn and cultivate compassion and grow, and know that when we do things like regulate our breath, when we feel our feet, when we ground down ourselves and send our energy down, when we journal about the life that we want to have, when we have a vision for our lives beyond just the physical changes of gender transition, as transgender people, we get to be a part of shaping the world around us. Our thoughts have so much power. They have so much power. Our thoughts are so powerful. And don't be afraid if you think negative thoughts. Just know that when you consciously choose then a positive thought, the positive thought has like 10,000 times more power than the negative thought ever will. And our thoughts really do have a lot of power. Some people don't want to believe that. That's where the fun. Well, then that's fine. You're either consciously creating the life vision that you want to have, or you're letting life happen to you. And it doesn't mean that things that happen beyond your control aren't. It's okay if there's things that happen to you beyond your control, but it's how you choose to react to them. That's what our power comes in, not in yelling at people if they misgender us. Our power comes in pausing and breathing and taking back our sovereignty and acknowledging their ignorance for what it is, and knowing and affirming to ourselves that we already are the gender that we know that we are in our hearts. And regardless of whether they see that we are or not, we have permission to be happy. Period. End of story. And as soon as we start changing that story around, maybe it'll piss some people off, I don't care. As soon as we change that story around, we as transgender people are going to then actually claim our power. So little by little, I mean, I have so many things that I'm working on, but little by little, I'm going to attempt to get out of my own shell and get out of my own way in the ways in which I'm called to serve here on this earth, and really give you more of myself. And that's why I'm doing this live video. This is the first live video that I've ever done. Pretty much just been talking for the last 34 minutes. So you can reach out to me in any way that you'd like. Emailing me or Instagram DM is probably the best. It's just Ashton James Colby. And so I just want you to know that even if you don't see a video from me or whatever for a month or whatever it is, like, I'm diligently every single day thinking about this community and thinking about the ways in which I'm supposed to serve, and I'm not going anywhere. And if anything, I'm kind of in little ways cultivating some self-preservation, because I know that over the coming years I'm going to be called to serve in higher ways, in deeper ways that I don't think the world is really ready for yet, and I don't think really the transgender community is ready for in a lot of ways. And so I've really just within myself started to reconcile that I'm probably going to upset some people in the ways that I'm really trying to infuse spirituality. And it's not about religion, it's about that we are all here human beings having a temporary, we're spiritual beings having a temporary human experience, and the ways in which we claim our power through the thoughts that we think, the narratives that we tell ourselves, we have a lot more power than we think we do, and that transgender people are unconsciously handing their power over to them, the politicians, or to the media or whatever, by not really recognizing that so often in society people want to diagnose and pathologize, as in make it a pathology, pathologize anything that is really um, profound and spiritual, and is a really a deep, profound gift. And I'm really here, the people that I'm here to talk to, the people that are the people that recognize that they are divine, human, incredible beings of love and light, and just they're ready to claim their power. That's the people that I'm talking. So maybe that's one person. I'm okay with that. That's directly the type of person that I'm trying to talk to. And if you're not in it to win it, and you're not here, and maybe you're still learning, and that's okay, but if you're so resistant to really the truth of the fact that we have so much it's a gift. It's a gift to be transgender, and I don't care what anybody else says about that. It is. And you can claim that for yourself, or you can claim a different narrative. Just try it on, see what feels better. But for me, it feels better to recognize my own incredible human majesty and my divine sovereignty of my individual human experience and my internal state of being, and changing my story that says I can do whatever I want to do in this earth by visioning my life and creating things consciously, and knowing that even though there's things beyond my control that happen to me in my life, I get to choose how I respond and react, and I get to pause, and I get to then, regardless of what anybody else would tell me, I get to stand in my power of love and light and truth, and of what is my calling of the highest good for all. And that's all we should be concerned about. So, yeah, you can follow me on Instagram. It's just Ashton James Colby. If you have any questions at all, or anything, or if you're feeling what I'm feeling, let me know. I love each and every single one of you who watches my videos and my channel. And just know that we're just warming up here. We're just getting started, and the world may not be ready for the truth about these incredible things, but it doesn't really matter, because light always wins. Light always is the more powerful source. And you can't suck darkness out of a room, but you can turn on a light, and you can make things brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter. And that's what's happening right now. And I hope that in whatever little way that you can, recognize that you can't feel fear and gratitude at the same time. So even if you are in a really tough situation, you're here, you're breathing, I love you. It's no, it's so many people say you're gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. And like that gets old. I hear you. But the reality is that you didn't come this far to not get to the place in your transition that you want to be in. You didn't get this far to not have top surgery, or not take testosterone, or whatever it is for you and your personal expression and journey. And you didn't get this far to not marry the person of your dreams. You didn't get this far to not reach your goal in your life, vision, and purpose, and have the career or the service path that is going to fulfill you. You didn't get this far to not do all of those things. And so it's not that like it's gonna be okay. It is. But beyond that, you didn't get this far to not do those things. So in the littlest ways that you can, you already have permission to cultivate gratitude for the things that haven't even happened to you yet. you actually can have gratitude for the top surgery or the testosterone or whatever it is that you haven't even had yet in this physical reality. I know that sounds ridiculous, but stay with me here. You can have gratitude for those things instead of fear that they won't happen, because you know in your heart, I don't even have to tell you, you know in your heart that you did not get this far for those things to not happen for you. And you can already take a breath and relax and come back into your body and know that those things are going to happen. It's not like you didn't get this far for them to not. So, the entire universe is here for you in whatever little ways you can start building momentum for the incredible positive things that are going on in your life, whether they be so small. You're here, you're breathing. Maybe the sun is out today. Maybe it's not. But there's the littlest things in the world that you can, you're watching this on a phone or you're watching this on a computer. Got something going for you. Start there and know that you're building momentum little by little. But I promise you, if anybody can go from where I was 2.5 years ago to now, I promise you it's possible. So I love you. I seriously do. I'm sending you so much just divine cultivated love from the garden of my soul beyond time and space for you to receive that if you're open to it. Just know how much the universe loves you and is here for you, and you're not alone in this world. And whether you believe in God or whatever, you have the ability to call out to whether it's your higher source of truth or creation or your highest self or whatever you want to call it. You have permission to call out for help. And in little ways, when you release resistance, the path will be cleared for you. That's all I'm going to say. For the rest of the day and for every day, you have permission to find peace and cultivate joy, and know that where your focus goes, energy flows. And if your focus is on the fact that you're already living the dream that you know that you deserve, then it's already yours to claim and it's already there. And if your focus is on fear and all the things that are wrong in the world, you will find more ways to pull those things into your life. And I know that you can acknowledge those things and know that you rise above them. It's not ignoring them. You rise above them by taking back your power, and taking back your power is telling yourself that you deserve to be happy, and that joy is going to be more powerful than anger and fear ever will be. So I love you. Stay awesome. Enjoy the rest of your day.